Good morning, everyone. It is just after 9 a.m. Pacific time on the Pacific coast of North America. I'm in British Columbia on Vancouver Island, and we've got the solar eclipse coming. And I was very drawn to do a meditation with you during the eclipse. Now, I'm hoping um, that I've timed it right. There was not really a specific time for this area. It was about 10 after 9, I believe, and I think I'm a little bit earlier than that. We're very fortunate here. We're actually not that far from the center of a full eclipse. I think we're at about 90% here. So um, just thought I'd share with you this morning what's been coming through for me this last week. I was very fortunate yesterday to be part of a big group at the Medicine Horses down in Victoria, British Columbia, and part of the healing circle there. So the meditation that I shared with the group was very strong. The energy from the horses, everybody in the group, very, very strong energies, and a lot of shifting going on. Now, for me, what was coming through very strongly was this last week, these last 2 weeks actually, have been very, very strong. A lot of emotional stuff coming up for people, a lot of really strong lineage stuff. You may be finding that you're feeling particularly alone, feeling like nobody understands you, feeling like you're struggling and not getting anywhere. You may just feel like you're struggling and trying to get somewhere, but not sure where you want to go. All of these are really, really coming to a crescendo right now. And for me, especially yesterday during the group, was very strong with a lot of lineage. Now, I had been drawn during my last group meditation a couple of weeks ago to share Open to Your Miracles. During that meditation, I was shown that it would be actually a lineage release for the next one. And I thought it would be my next event. But this morning when I woke up, I knew I had to do it during the eclipse coming through. And that shift is very key. Also, yesterday, it was very obvious to me, I think there's going to be a lot of babies born in the next 9 months that are being born in that higher resonance where they aren't carrying that lineage with them or those blocks with them. So the child parent relationship, mother in particular, and the lineage of the mother. So I look forward to that, and having the ability to kind of help others to shift away from dropping that. We don't have to be born without that. We can release that in this lifetime. And this whole energetic time right now, especially around these eclipses, is very, very powerful for that release. So whatever you're struggling with, whatever you're wanting to let go of, whatever you're wanting to move towards, use the power, the energy of this beautiful time to be able to do that. So I'm going to share a meditation with you. I'm just going to start. Feel free to close your eyes or just continue to watch behind me. I'm trying to get the sun behind me, so that's why my face is a little bit blacked out. I'm having a hard time seeing the screen because the sun is behind me, and you're probably having a hard time seeing me. I'll just kind of pop in here and block the sun a little bit. I'm just going to readjust the camera here, and I was going to do this on the beach, but the ferry was coming in, and I didn't want to have the noise disturbing you, although I'm seeing they aren't blowing their horns or anything, so we're good with that. So Not sure exactly on the time, but we're pretty close to when the eclipse is, and I see the haze is actually coming away from the sun, which is wonderful. And I'm really hoping to catch kind of the darkening of it, not necessarily the direct sunlight or the direct eclipse. I'm sure there's going to be lots of video of that we can watch. I'm not facing the sun. Again, I'd be drawn to look up, and we don't want to damage eyes, so we're just going to be gentle with that. So, and again, trying to get this. This was very impromptu, last minute, and you may hear the crickets from the river that's behind me. Beautiful area, and trying to, there we go. It'll be what it is, and I'm not too worried about that. But just being drawn, again, to meditate. So kick back, relax. Some of you may want to stand up or lay down, whatever just feels most comfortable for you. You may just want to listen to this and not really go into that meditative state. Maybe you don't know how, but just follow my voice. And we're going to just breathe in beautiful air around you. Now, you may be in a place where you're indoors, but just notice what that air smells like, what it tastes like. For me, it's very moist. I'm by the ocean. There's a river behind me. There's a forest behind me. And the west coast of Vancouver Island, or the west coast of BC, I'm on Vancouver Island. We're subtropical, whatever, rainforest. Definitely got the rainforest thing going on. And right now I'm hearing frogs, a lot of frogs from the river, and crickets in the grass. So we've got a lot of eagles in this area, a lot of heron, a lot of birds. And just continuing to breathe and relax and feel the air, smell it, taste it. Now for me, of course, it's very salty and there's a lot of moisture in the air. For you, it may be totally different, or you might just want to imagine being sitting here by the beach with me. There. Now, right now at this moment, we're coming into almost the peak of the eclipse. You may be across the world. You may be north, you may be south, you might be in Europe or the UK or Australia or New Zealand and not see this eclipse at all. And I want to say it doesn't matter. It does not matter. The energies of this eclipse are worldwide. You may not feel them quite as strongly as people that are under the eclipse. That's okay. The ripple effects, the energetic ball that this earth is encompassed in, with the shift, with the frequency changes, they're happening regardless of whether you're aware of them or why you've been struggling so hard in the last couple of weeks, whether you've been feeling a pull and not understanding what it is, whether you're shifting your life, whether you're just transitioning, whether you're feeling heartbroken or sad, maybe you've had a big loss lately. Maybe it's just something you're just hoping for. You're hoping for something new and fresh, feeling reconnected to your life, feeling re-energized. Whatever that intention may be, allow it to come into your heart and then radiate outwards. And as you're feeling it radiating outwards, just imagine the energy to make that happen, the frequencies to make that happen, flowing towards you. But what we're doing is we're also making room. We're letting letting ourselves have space for those new frequencies to flow in. So we're releasing the old stuff that's not working for us anymore. We're releasing what's not to our highest and best good. We're releasing those old stories, those old paradigms, those old patterns. And the thing is those old patterns, stories, paradigms always come through our family, our lineage, whether we're aware of it or not, whether there's patterns that have been dormant, whether there's frequencies that have been dormant for generations. It can pop up and we can be carrying it. We may be just carrying it's like your hair color or your brown eyes or your blue eyes, or everybody in your family is blonde and yet you have dark brown hair or black hair. It's still there. It's in you. Those traits that come through, just like your genetic traits that are very obvious, we carry those. And again, this is all that clearing space. This is making room. We're getting rid of all that old crap that can keep you bogged down. Even if your life's going super well right now, everything's flowing, the abundance is coming, there can be things that trip you up, things that have gotten to you kind of repeatedly, and then they clear. Again, it depends on where your resonance is. But just picking what you would like to kind of release, even if you don't know, can't put words to it. It's just something there. You're just willing to let it go. And some of you are just ready to let go of everything that's not serving you, everything known, unknown, conscious, subconscious, lineage, DNA, past lives, spiritual frequencies that have had you bogged down. You're just ready to release it and burst into this new space, this new paradigm, this new frequency that's bombarding the earth right now. Even as I'm talking about this, you may be shifting in how big you're perceiving how much you can change. So you may be thinking, oh yeah, well I can release that and I can shift that. And then the ideas are getting bigger and the possibilities are becoming limitless as these frequencies are shifting right here, right now. Now this is a recording and you will be getting it after the fact, doesn't matter. You're still receiving, you are still shifting just as strongly as if you were sitting here right at this moment in time. The thing is there's no time and space, so that future you knows you're listening, knows you're meditating, making your intention in this here and now. Just allowing. We don't have to understand. As you breathe deeply and relax, become much more comfortable. And as you're shifting out all of that old energy, making room for this beautiful new frequency, you may feel a little bit of trepidation. You may feel a little bit of apprehension or anxiety or fear. That's okay. When you're getting ready to step into that new space, it's normal. So just give yourself a break. It's happening regardless of whether we're ready for it, whether we think it's affecting us. It's happening regardless. So being with intention, willing to release, with intention, willing to receive and expand. Just helps the process along. And if you're feeling particularly bogged down in that release, that's okay. Just ask for assistance and surrender into that space, connecting to pure source, God, divine, the creator, universal energy, and just surrendering over. You don't have to do this all on your own. And maybe, just maybe, there's something from your spirit, your higher self that's been calling you to shift, to be prepared, to be aware. And this may be a very deep journey for you. It may be something you're just starting. It doesn't matter. Breathing, connecting to pure source, being willing to release, being willing to shift, being willing to grow and expand. These frequencies are coming at the earth, and we're going to be bombarded with them whether we're ready or willing or not. So just very consciously in this meditation, make yourself available, willing. When we're not fighting that transition, it's always so much easier. So breathing, and again, what is it you would like to receive into your life? Deeper relationships, more abundance, more love. This is a very heart-centered, loving shift, and that's what I say when the babies that are being conceived in this time period, the babies that are already conceived and going through the shift before they come into the, I'll say, physical form or awareness of form, are all going to be coming through in that expanded space without the struggle behind it. For the rest of us, however, we're very much going to be feeling this and building up to it, preceding it, after it, it's going to be there. The shifting, it will show up in all sorts of different ways. You may just be feeling really apprehensive or really angry or really frustrated or really put upon. Maybe there's a place in you that's feeling very victimized, very misunderstood, that others don't get you. They don't know what you mean when you say something. People are avoiding you, or there's miscommunications going on, things that are said that aren't necessarily meant, or they're understood exactly the opposite of what they were meant to be. That's all part of this energy right now. And so just being very patient with yourself, being very patient with others as you continue to breathe and relax and just absorb this frequency. You're making room in your entire being. So through your physical being, emotional being, spiritual being, that flushing out of the old. Now, as you breathe, you may feel a spot in your body, in your emotions, in your spiritual being that is very blocked or very stuck. Just draw your attention there for a moment and allow it to start flowing. As you draw your attention there, your intention follows. So not to get bogged down in the story of it or the reasoning behind it. If it starts chattering in your mind, just let it float on by. And again, that space of allowing, surrender. If you need extra help, just ask. If you work with angels or guides or directly with pure source or Jesus. And again, there could be a deep religion behind your faith, or it may just be an open spiritual flow of energy. However you perceive or believe, it's the faith behind that connection that helps you to shift more easily. So continuing to breathe, release, relax, surrender, and allow. Now the background noise that's kind of going on around me now, it was very peaceful when I started this, and it started to get noisier. Just allow it to be part of the meditation. Now you may be hearing it like I am, or it may be in the background as a little bit of noise. You may not hear it at all with these headphones, but Just allow it to be part of your meditation. Again, not to draw your attention too much to it. You can note it and then let it float on by as you're continuing to breathe and feel, experience, and allow. Anticipate. Maybe that anxiety that's getting your heart racing. Look at it as excitement rather than an anxiety. It's very much the same thing, but it's our body reacts the exact same way, but it's the thoughts. It really is the thoughts behind this. And I know I've said this several times before, but it's the thought, it's how we perceive it. So somebody can be experiencing, two people, exactly the same thing, and one's so excited about it and one's just so anxious about it. Their heart's doing the same thing. They're getting clammy, their hearts are racing, but one person's perceiving it as good, joyful, exciting, and the other person's experiencing it as a worry and fear. You can shift that, how you perceive. And if your heart's racing, if you're feeling palpitations as these shifts are going on, if you're feeling buzzy or tingly, allow yourself to know that you have the ability to bring that into a anticipation, joy, excitement. As you continue to breathe and release and relax, you can continue on breathing here, meditating here, allowing yourself to receive, immersing yourself in the beauty of the day, the evening. And then, in the weeks to come, bringing yourself back to this moment in time, if you need to. But as you're shifting, as you're opening to receive, and it's going to be automatic, it's happening whether we're conscious of it or not, that it gets easier to move forward. You start feeling lighter. The anticipation starts coming in. You quit dragging your feet around, letting go of that old paradigm, that old pattern, those old thoughts, those old feelings. And if you find yourself really feeling victimized or misunderstood, kind of stop and breathe and ask, okay, what is this in me that needs to shift? And letting it go, allowing it to flow. And maybe allow yourself to look at it as something beautiful instead of something that's meant to keep you down. There's a lesson to be learned here for all of us in all aspects of life. And where you're most struggling or where you're most happy, again, there's more to be had. So you get to choose where you'd really like to focus this energy. But I really recommend that we just open up to all of it in whatever aspect in our lives that it can affect. The beautiful thing is once that energy starts flowing and you start shifting into that flow, serendipities happen. It just lays out in front of you. And you can be grateful, saying thanks every time something happens. Or you can totally ignore it and just kind of retreat in. But this is a time of growth, and we all have the ability to choose. The thing is these energies are going to polarize a lot more in the coming, I'll say, days, weeks, months, where those that are feeling put upon, victimized, where those that are feeling anger, fear, frustration, they're going to become more so because these energies are so strong. If they're not aware what's going on, getting caught more deeply in those energies, sorry, tears are flowing, getting caught more deeply in those energies or those frequencies can be a very real thing. So you may be noticing as you're getting lighter, others may be getting heavier. The beautiful thing is that one person with intention moving into that lighter space helps to trigger others around them to do the same thing. Now, it may be a quick process, it may be a slower process. It really depends on where you are in your allowing, in your journey. But the fact that you are on that journey is just a beautiful thing. And again, using the energy, the frequencies of this universal shift that's happening. Whether you believe in the energies of the universal collective, the astrology, the numerology, it doesn't really matter. You don't have to know anything about it. And I personally, it's not my strong suit of, looking at the stars, but I do feel the energy of it. I feel and perceive and understand things in energy. And it never fails to amaze me how that comes through with the lining up of the astrological events. And these eclipses here in August are very powerful. And that deep, deep connection to yourself, that higher space, that soul, that spirit, that energy that is you, is really what's calling you to understand this deeper, to awaken. And I hope you enjoyed this meditation today. Feel free to continue breathing and connecting and feeling the energy. Come back and watch this video again, or just move forward and free yourself of all the baggage that you've been carrying around. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Sending lots of love and blessings.